After 5 days on the run, their bodies steal a much-needed rest.
Let's try and get some rest if you can, guys.
This relaxation will prove a terrible mistake. Patrol has given up the safety of the undergrowth, and they're heading straight into an ambush. For 5 days and nights of Operation Great Escape, these soldiers have evaded capture from a large enemy force. They believe their task is finally over.
Well, at least on my cycle, we knew that the task wasn't over. We'd already heard the rumours, and well, they weren't really rumours. We had already heard, this is what's going to happen. You're going to go through all of that. You're going to get to the last checkpoint. You're going to be getting on the vehicle and being taken to safety. It's going to get hit, and you're going to get dragged out, and it's going to start. The shock of capture and all the other knock-on effects that go into the resistance to interrogation phase. You do think about, should I escape? Should I look to try to escape and get out of there? But at least on mine, it was a no, because we knew it was part of the course, and we know that everybody has to go through the resistance to interrogation. So if you want to try to bust out and be a hero and look to escape and run off out into the bush, go walk about and go, yes, I escaped, so I shouldn't have to go through it. Good luck to you. I'll just say that's a bad move, and you shouldn't do that. Everybody's got to go through the resistance to interrogation phase. So they likely understand and know that they're not out of it. They would have already heard on the back end of Great Escape or your combat survival that you're going in the bag and nobody avoids it.
The reality is, there is no great escape. They're being driven straight into an orchestrated ambush. Now surrounded by the entire hunter force, there's no chance of escape.
The lot of a Special Forces trooper who is captured by an enemy is a very unhappy one.
No kidding.
The best thing that can happen is that they die quickly. That makes it imperative that they be trained in interrogation techniques, which in turn means that they have to be able to withstand brutality. It's an unfortunate part of the business, but it's a very ugly business to begin with.
It's interesting just seeing that. I think I mentioned in the last video that I'd share a story, so I'll do that. But I think I've shared this before, and even when I've spoken with other people, the main thing I got out of the resistance to interrogation, what it taught me, was don't get caught. That's all it taught me, because as challenging, as hard, and as difficult as that period and that phase is, both in NZ and in Australia, it's not even really scratching the surface of what it will be like, or what it would be like for real. So I have a massive amount of respect for those POWs and that went through the harshest of conditions and times, and survived and come out the other end. And obviously, likewise, respect and admiration, sadness for those that didn't come out the other end. But resistance to interrogation and going through this phase of the training and the course just taught me personally, don't get caught. You don't want to get caught. So yeah, it's hard. Now, that aside, I think I mentioned that there's a bit of a funny story. One of the stories, at least in our group, and that the Fijian detachment or attachment that we had in the New Zealand Defence Force at the time, or they must have been doing some training with the battalion because they were part of the hunter force. Well, we had a bunch of Fijians at the ambush site when our Unimog got ambushed, and we got dragged off the back. Some of us landed pretty hard into the ground, and when they took us to the other vehicles to get us on there, we weren't being picked up and put in like that. We were being walked blindfolded and smacked into the back of the trailer, and then just sort of wedgied and dragged up and thrown up, and other guys up on the top just sort of dragging you in. So that was that part. That wasn't that funny, but that's not the piece that I was wanting to get to. The part that was, well, that's funny now, wasn't funny then. When we got initially dragged off and you saw them lying on the ground, we had to lie down face down. We had to put our hands out to the side, like so. We're like starfish, and for all of us, natural position was just to keep the palms down. So if you imagine me, arms out and my palms are down towards the ground. This gets me every time. What the Fijians are saying. So they're saying, "Bums up, bums up," and for all of us, we're like, "What the heck are they? Bums up?" Sounded like bum, B-U-M. I was like, "Bums up, bums up." So I remember looking around, like sort of side to side, because we weren't blindfolded by this stage. We had this look on our face, like, are we supposed to? Are they saying bums up? So, there was a few of us, me included, who looked. They did it again. It must have been third or fourth time. I said bums up, and so we're lying there. If you can imagine, lying down, arms out, and then sticking your backside out up in the air. Oh, I think about it now. It must have looked really funny to them, and because I can picture it now, it would look really funny to me. But when that happened and a few of us did that, we all got a smack. We all got whacked around, and then they physically grabbed our hands and said, "I said palms up." So they took our palms and they turned them over. So now our palms are up towards the sky. So instead of having our palms down, they're turned over. And yeah, it's funny now. It's funny when I think about it. It's funny when I hear their voices replaying in my head. But it wasn't funny at the time, especially when we got an extra blink and whack in the back of the head and, sort of hustled a little bit whilst we were on the ground to sort of get into the right position. But that's one of my lasting memories from the resistance to interrogation phase and that initial shock of capture piece. And I was thinking, bloody hell. So when I was listening there, at least they had there was no funny accents, or there was no accent there to put up with by the sounds of things, but also them getting lifted up. That was seemed quite nice, gentle, a little bit opposite, or nothing like what our one was anyway when we went through. I have heard of other cycles before ours that had it a lot worse than ours as well, but that one looked pretty good to be picked up and then placed into the back of the MOG. Maybe they did that just because the cameras were there.
For 5